Hello, darlings. Welcome to the energy report for the week of October 14th through the 20th. First, we're gonna go ahead and clear the energies. Spray my Fire of the Earth Florida water. Does help cleanse and clear the energies that you kind of don't want, so that you can call in everything that you do want. I use this shit on everything. I bring it in the car. It's always in my bag. I spray it whenever I get out of bed. I spray it before I get in bed. I spray it before I start any rituals. I spray it before I do any readings. Just all kinds of things of that nature. So we're always going to start with that. Clear it out so you can start fresh. So first we're going to go into the energy we got kind of coming up this week. So we've got, Sun square Mars, Venus opposite Uranus. We've got Venus trine Neptune. We've got the full moon in Aries on Thursday. We've got Venus sextile Pluto, and then Venus also enters Sagittarius this week. So, like this Sun square Mars energy. So squares are very much about conflict, about tension, about, it can be drama, but it always catalyzes change. The Sun is going to shine light on whatever irritates you, whatever bothers you, whatever grinds your gears, because it's really wanting you to understand, like, how can you use that as an opportunity for growth within yourself? So that's the question for the week, is how can you use what irritates you as an opportunity for growth within yourself, especially within your relationships? And I want you to be mindful of just starting conflict for the sake of excitement, because sometimes we do that. Like, sometimes you can get bored if you're used to having toxic relationships, or you grew up in a household where arguing was like a normal thing. You might start shit just because you think and feel that it's normal. Does that mean you consciously think that it's normal? Some people might. But a lot of times it's going to be your subconscious programming, because that's what you grew up with. That's what you saw. So that is what you're going to do. And even if you didn't, sometimes we saw that in the media, right? We saw that on these reality TV shows that glorify this drama and this cattiness and all of these things. And it's like, first of all, that shit is not healthy. That is not a healthy relationship. So I want you to be mindful in how those irritations within you, because you always have a choice if they irritate you or not. You're choosing it, whether you're consciously choosing it or you're subconsciously choosing it. So just use those as an opportunity for growth for yourself when they come up. Take a deep breath, because the Sun again shines light. It's going to just illuminate the room. Okay? So then we've got this Venus sextile Pluto happening on Thursday, on the same day as the full moon in Aries, and the same day that Venus enters Sagittarius. We have a lot of Venus energy this week. Like Venus, ruling money, love, relationships, aesthetic, even just like and it can be the materialistic side, or it can be the intellectual side of that. It is the divine feminine energy. It is very much that finding balance, but also grounding yourself into the material things in this world. So the question we've got is, what are the deep topics you've been wanting to explore with yourself and within your relationships? How can you bring some comfort to the depths with you? Venus is in Scorpio right now. Pluto is in Capricorn. There's an aspect of support that kind of comes with this energy. Like, Pluto rules Scorpio. Let's first start with that. Pluto rules Scorpio, and it also rules transformation. Pluto is the god of the underworld. It is the phoenix rising from the ashes. However, and I say this all the time, in order to rise from the ashes, you must first burn down what is not working. You have to release things in order to make room for what is meant to be here. Otherwise, it has nowhere to go. Okay? So just being really mindful about, you're going to go into the depths. So what can you bring to help, make it more comfortable? Bring in those Venusian aspects, those things of beauty, right? Those things that help us be more comfortable. Now, it's like making sure that you're not overindulging on the comfort instead, but just, what do you take with you whenever you go to a scary movie, or when you go to a haunted house, like maybe you don't take anything with you. I don't like either one of those things. So if I was going to those places, I would be wearing all of my protective crystal jewelry. I would be, you know, finding ways to ground myself before I am putting myself into a place where I'm going to be scared. Because I don't think being scared is fun, honestly. A lot of y'all do, but that shit's not fun to me. But how would I comfort myself knowing, like, say I agreed to this, or I lost a bet and I gotta go? Like, it's just making sure that I'm grounded, doing whatever makes me feel safe, whatever makes me feel comfortable. So, full moon in Aries. Oh, man. So, I don't know how your last week has been, but there's been a lot of movement. A lot of movement. And the full moon is opposite the sun. So, there is going to be some tension there. There is going to be some it's like two sides of the same coin. I always explain opposites as the light of Aries is the shadow of Libra. The light of Libra is the shadow of Aries. So it's the things that, like, you can bring out the best and the worst with those energies. However, it's just, they get expressed in very different ways. Like, Aries is not comfortable necessarily in the spaces that Libra naturally excels and thrives in. It just wants to go, go, go. Where Libra's going to then foster those relationships, find that balance, be diplomatic, see all sides of things. Where Aries is like, nah, we're going in this direction and this is exactly, we're doing it right now. We're not doing it at all. So the light is being shown on the moon, which is your inner world. It's your intuition. It's your emotions. It's your body, right? And just, you know, the question I've got for you is, how can you care for yourself as some of your deepest fears rise to the surface? Can you welcome them in to receive compassion and love, or will you shun them and leave them out in the cold? So your fears are a part of you, right? Now, that doesn't mean that they need to stay, but they were born from within you, no matter if they are your fears or not. You have either attached to them or they naturally are coming from your spirit, right? Your being, your person. The fact that they're there, that they're either allowed to move in and stay, or you kind of greet them, you speak to them, and they move along their way and you move through them. It's the fact that they're coming from you. So accepting that you have fear, whether you want to or not, it is actually a thing to help keep you safe whenever things are threatening your life, right? So instead of, my personal suggestion is, instead of shunning your fears and leaving them out in the cold, to invite them in, have a chat with them. You're like, hey, fear, oh, why is you here? You know, and just really getting to know and understand where you can feel those sensations of fear in your body even, because all emotion lives within the body. And in order to release it, we need to feel it to process through it. You can talk through it all day, but that's not going to release it from inside of here. So understanding is important in the process, and moving through the fear is going to be inviting it in, having a cup of tea or coffee or whatever your favorite beverage is, and getting to the nitty gritty of, like, all right, I feel you now. Talk to me, fear. You know, show me where these energies are still living in my body, and how can I have support moving through those things? Because there's Venus here too. Like, there's a lot of Venusian energy happening around this full moon when these dark things are coming up. But Scorpio is literally built for transformation. It is built for the darkness. It is built to, it's like Bane, right? I was born in the darkness. Like, you're really visiting. Like, so I'm also a Scorpio. I keep saying that I live in the depths of the ocean. Come visit me down at Bikini Bottom. And you know, bring a flashlight with you. But we have things that glow in the dark down here that can help you. Your eyes will adjust. You will be able to see in the dark the longer you sit there. But it's not for everybody to move into. A lot of the times we're just passing through in order to move forward in our lives in the most authentic way possible. Because once you shed those fears, you release those fears, you face them, you get to know them, you understand when they come up. Like, oh, like, fear came to the party today, guys, but they're not going to ruin it. They promised that they're not going to, you know, throw punch on Jimmy Joe in the corner over there, or, you know, go across the room and slap Aries in the face. Like, it's just, I wouldn't want to slap Aries. That seems completely insane. God of War. Like, no. But the point is that your fears can exist, and they can not ruin your life. So Last question, Venus and Sag. How can you bring more excitement, fun, and freedom into your relationships in your everyday life? Sag is about freedom. It's about fun. It's about taking risks. It is about travel. It is about philosophy. It is about spirituality, even more so on the religious side, but still something that you believe in, a system maybe that you follow for that belief. And just bringing that into every day, because for this period of time where can you have more fun with your people, right? Not even just romantic relationships, but all relationships, friendships, family relationships, work relationships. Like, how can you have some more fun? Go take a little bit of a risk. Be a little hedonistic with balance and boundaries, of course. Like, I mean, you could, I was going to say, don't take your coworkers to the strip club. But if y'all all want to go, by all means, go to the strip club. Have some fun. All right, let's see. I think that's all I got here for the notes for the questions. But let's see what kind of energies, you know, the divine is talking about with these cards. Let's see what Spirit has to say about the rest of the week. All right, we're going to go as above, so below, and the bridge in between, like I love to do. As above, the golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. Interesting. So below, weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. And the bridge in between, Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. I mean, I already talked about Sag. Being literally that, higher learning. Being that studying. Being that, it's like that, again, it's the bridge in between. So like to bridge the golden children, that inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts with this weight of the world, boundaries, let it go, it's not yours to carry, is learning, again, what is not yours to carry forward. I already talked about the fears. Some of those fears that you have are not yours. I went through this breathwork experience this weekend that was about transcending fear. And I realized just how many fears were interfering with the way that I was moving in this world. Like stepping into my own business, being seen on camera, like not giving a fuck what somebody's going to say about how I interpret the planetary energies or how I interpret the cards or just all these things. A lot of people have a fear of being seen. They have a fear of public speaking. They have fears of external factors essentially ruining their life. And this is like to just remember that you are the master of your destiny. Now, I believe that we all have a divine purpose and we all have a divine path. However, you get to choose to walk that path or not. However, the way that I feel and believe is that your soul picked this path for a reason, and that is what's going to bring you the most joy, pleasure, happiness, fulfillment, and transformation and growth, because a lot of things that are on that journey are going to be challenging to you. However, we do not grow through complacency. We do not grow by moving through the same things every day over and over and over again for our entire life. If we had the same day every day, we would never grow. We would never be challenged by anything. There would be no chances for us to build resiliency through adversity and get stronger. Like, you don't grow your muscles by not using them. When muscles grow, they're literally, like, I believe there's tears that happen in the muscles so that way they can get more blood flow, they can get more of this, you know, there's a lactic acid buildup, there's a whole process that happens, but at the end of the day, your muscles break down to get bigger, right? And then you have to feed it with more protein, carbs, fat, more calories, more energy so that they can actually grow and become in that bigger space that you're so desiring. So to expand, sometimes you got to crack open. And that is, I feel like when we study, when we learn new things, we're literally, you know, it's like we're cracking our brain open, sort of. We're not really cracking it open, but it's just like you're inputting all this information, and whatever is meant to stick in here will stick the first time. However, because we get so much input into our brains every single day, sometimes it can have a little challenge of remembering all of the details. So that's why we go back. We read again. We return to the studies to understand at a deeper level, because just because you read the book on Monday doesn't mean when you read it 2 Mondays from now that you're going to get the same information. You already have things that have been solidified in there. And there's a portal on this Golden Children card with the sun kind of sitting right behind it. And just these kids kind of walking, these literally golden children, walking through to this portal. And the way that the Earth School card looks is like, oh, you went through the portal and now you're zooming through space. Like you're going through this portal into another dimension. You're going into a place that you haven't even seen before. You might live on Earth, but there's so many places that you've never been or seen that you don't know everything. So remembering that you don't know everything is also going to be important on this journey. You could never possibly know everything. Now, that's coming from somebody who, like, I know a lot of shit, like, but I don't know everything. And knowing that you don't know everything is going to be like, it's going to be a saving grace, I think, because you have room to learn and grow. The master, again, doesn't know everything. The master is always continually the student. So that inner child, though, that tenderness, having that innocence and touching back into that, because when these fears come up, a lot of the times it's going to be from the parts of you that were small, or that you made small, or just younger versions of yourself. It could be your young adult self. It may not even be a literal child. It might be you were, 17, 18. You're technically still a child until you hit 18. But it's just tapping back into those energies, into those places where you may have suppressed your gifts out of fear that you would be judged. Because this weight of the world is about boundaries. Let it go. It's not yours to carry. It's somebody literally kind of doing that, that float in the pool where they have you lay on your back like this. For any of y'all who have taken swimming lessons, oh God, I'm having a flashback. I'm going to tell you a story really quick about that. But it might actually apply because, so I was in swimming lessons and I was, I don't know, probably 6, 7, something like that. And they made you do this. And I hated getting water in my ears. And your teacher, I was afraid I was going to, sink in. And your teacher holds you up for a little bit and then you have to float there on your own. Well, I was supported, but in my mind, I wasn't exactly hyping myself up. I was, again, going the negative route of like, oh my God, I'm probably going to drown, I'm going to drown. Well, I almost did. I literally caved like this and took a deep breath in, inhaled some water, threw up in the pool. It was disgusting. They had to get everybody out of the pool. They had to vacuum the whole thing. Like, very embarrassing and low-key traumatizing for a while. But it's just like, say, you can move through those traumatic stories and let them go. I've never been afraid of water after that. I just don't understand the point of this whole floating thing. But this lady is floating like this in this pool of energetic water with a little fog and a little shimmer, because like she's just there. She just let go. Like she's just letting the current take her where it may and just releasing everything that doesn't serve you in that process. Like that might be through journaling, that might be through sound healing, that might be through breath work, that might be through going on walks in nature with your friends or with your animals. It might be grounding practices where you literally put your feet on the earth and you ask Gaia to take the energies of those that don't belong to you and to just take them away and transmute them into love, joy, peace, all that stuff. Transcending fear and turning it into love. That's actually what this black tourmaline can kind of help you do too. So let's see. Do we have anything else today? Yeah, we're gonna catapult through this portal. You have a choice to walk through the portal or not. Your destiny's on the other side of that portal, though. I just want to let you know. Doesn't mean you can't ever get there. It's just, hey, there's a track for you to walk through this week in order to kind of, instead of having to go the long route, I'm gonna say it's not a shortcut, but this is a more direct route is what it feels like. Just the way that second card is just pew, like, you know, whenever we're going back to the pool again, but you know, whenever you dive into the water and you can get a further distance underwater before you actually hit the top. At least that's what it looks like to me anyway. That's kind of what this is, where you're getting to dive in and be torpedoed to a certain place and then you'll pop up, where if you don't walk through this portal, specifically this one, you're going to be swimming on the top of the water and it's going to take you a little bit longer. But sometimes that's exactly what is meant for us, is to take us a little bit longer. Because there might be things that we need to figure out on the way that should we have been torpedoed and we missed those things, that when we got here, it might be more difficult than, you know, it was originally going to be or meant to be. Or anyway, everything happens in divine timing. Everything is exactly as it should be, how it is meant to be. Don't fight reality and think that the way that things happened is not how they should have happened. And that can be kind of heavy, but depending on what you're wishing didn't happen. And it's okay to have those heavy emotions. Sometimes we do need to grieve. And it's not even just about death of people. It's death of relationships. It's death of jobs. It's, you know, anything that transitions from one place to something else, that it will never go back to that same thing again. So I can just feel the heaviness in my heart kind of saying that. So, all right, I think that's all we got for those cards. So, it's 5:55 also. We got, okay, well, we're going to do this one that flew out on the top, that flipped over. Number 32. Allow healing. At a certain point, you have to realize you have permission to heal your wounds at any time you choose. Let's see what's on the bottom. 39. Listen. There is a light present in all things that is a language that transcends the words of any man. Listen with your heart. As I was literally just feeling those heart kind of energies. And these are only, 32 to 39, 7 apart. 7 is this number of spiritual wisdom, to me, it's like the esoteric libraries. It's just that there's so much knowledge and wisdom that you're gaining this week on a deeper level that you may not even consciously be aware of. But that is where some of the biggest changes happen, is on that cellular level where you don't feel it, you don't know it until something pops up and you handle it in a very different way than you ever would have handled it. So, my darlings, my loves, have a wonderful, wonderful week. And if you're curious about any other energies in your charts, in your astrology, in your human design, or curious about any, what the divine has to say to you, you have any questions that you want answered or want clarity on, you can always book a one-on-one reading with me. Shoot me a message, or, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all the places, SoLuna, Metanoia, and you can message me also if you have any questions and you want to move forward with that, because I'm just here to remind you, my loves, that there is always a way forward. Sometimes we just can't see it with our own eyes. So it's okay to ask for support. I love you, and I hope you have the best week ever. Remember to take good, loving care of yourself and your fears.